Comebacks that we want to have here with teams when World Series and in postseason play here on Throwback Thursday. 58, the Yankees were 3-1 down. 68, the Tigers were 3-1 down. They both won. And then in 79, the Pirates were 3-1 down to the Orioles. They won. But there's only been one team that's been 3-0 down. Let's ask Terry how come we've seen it so much, Terry, with 3-1 teams in postseason play. But you're the only one with a 3-0 team. You've been part of it on both ends. How come 3-0 has been so much harder than 3-1 to come from behind and win a series?
Well, you know what, Chris? Winning 4 games in a row, even during the regular season, is really hard. When you do it, when you're trying to do it against the caliber, of a team like, say, the Yankees or whoever, the Cubs, whoever you're playing that's gotten that far into the postseason. Again, you're not facing their 4th and 5th starters. You're facing their first 3 and their better part of their bullpen, unless they're getting beat. So it makes it even harder. That's why we talked about keeping things in small increments, one pitch at a time, 1 out at a time, 1 inning at a time, because it starts to look daunting if you start to think, hey, wait, we got to win 4 games. No, we really don't. We just need to try to win this inning and keep it smaller. And things have a way of kind of when you take care of what you're supposed to, things have a way of working out.
Momentum is key, Terry. Did you sense momentum and you sense you really had a chance to do this in the Yankee series after they run in the bottom of the 9th inning against Mariano? Or is it or did you cheat that? You know what? We won a game. We still got 3 to go and a lot of work to do. Where did you begin to see momentum turn in that Yankee series in 04?
I actually felt good about our ball club, after we won that game. And I think our guys felt good, which is more important. My biggest concern was we make a mistake and we go home because we had played ourselves into a hole, like
right.
Say a Tony Clark double that bounces out. Thankfully, if it doesn't, maybe they score there. I was concerned that if somebody made a mistake, again, we go home, but really nobody did. I mean, it was a fun time to watch that group of players play that high level of baseball. It was fun to be a part of.
Now, obviously, when you won it there in 07, 3-1 down, you knew you had the last 2 games back at Fenway, and you had already done it 3 years prior to that. So you probably felt confident that if Beckett could beat Sabathia, you could beat the Indians those last 2, right?
Well, and again, you don't even start to think about the last 2. We got a rain out in Cleveland, which helped us. One of the biggest things was, when you're down that much, especially in a place like Boston, there's a lot of noise, and a lot of people are telling you, hey, this is what you need to do. And I kept trying to explain to people, I can't guarantee you that we're going to win, but I can guarantee you how we'll lose. And that's by doing things different. So we tried to keep things the same. We kept Beckett on regular rest because he felt like he would be a better pitcher. And he rewarded us for that. And then we got back to Boston and J.D. Drew hit that big grand slam and things kind of snowballed from there. But Chris, I've always felt like to win, you got to be good. You got to catch a break or get a little lucky and then be good enough to take advantage of that. And if you look at most of the teams that have won, you'll kind of see that formula.
And interesting, too, when you get out of that, you get hot. You swept the Cardinals, and you won 8 in a row to finish 2004. And you swept the Rockies to win 7 in a row in 2007. There has to be correlation from ALCS to the World Series in both those sequences, right, Terry?
And it's funny because I think as a manager, when the game starts, you're always confident. But in the meantime, you worry about everything that could go wrong. And the natural thing is, okay, we just beat the Yankees or we came back and beat the Indians. Is there going to be a letdown? Because that's the last thing that doesn't help anybody if you show up to the World Series and you're flat. And our guys came out and they were just on a roll both years. And like I said, it was fun to watch. As a manager, you kind of just get out of the way, because they're rolling is all you need to do is pat them on the back. And it was fun.
Now, and the one that you lost in 16, Chapman pitched great in Game 5. Nobody made a big deal about that at the time, but you probably did. Geez, we're up 3-1. We got it. We have the Cubs down. Let's put them away tonight. Chapman gets them out of it. You lose Game 5. Then you got to go home, sit on it for a day. Cubs get off to a good start, and all of a sudden, they got a little something going. So you saw the exact mojo turn the other way in 16. How about that for a sec? Let me hear.
And on top of that, I'd certainly rather be up 3-1 than down 3-1. But I remember on the flight home talking to Chris and Cherney and the guys, and we were kind of being realistic. We're like, hey, it's good we're up 3-1, but our pitching, we were so shorthanded. We had guys coming back on short rest. We only had, I think, 3 starters, and we had asked so much of them to get to where we were that we knew if we got to Game 7, Kluber's coming back on short rest. And our relievers, we had ridden Cody Allen and Andrew Miller and Brian Shaw. I mean, we had just asked so much of those guys that we knew we weren't in a good position as everybody thought. I still thought we were going to win. And I still, but I also knew we weren't set up quite as well as everybody thought.
Well, that's an excellent point. I hadn't heard you say that before. What did you think when Rajai hit the homer and you got out of the top of the 9th and you had your good part of the lineup up bottom of the 9th against Chapman, who had been used and just gave up a 3-run shot? Yeah, I know you got to get the run. You had to feel confident that you'd figure something out in the bottom of the 9th of Game 7. Is that true?
The way you put it is exactly how we felt. You always feel like you're going to figure something out. Somebody will do something to make you win. Unfortunately for us, the Cubs had the same exact mindset. I think lesser teams lose that game because, like you said, Raj hit the home run and, the whole city of Chicago about died. But when they had that small rain delay, the Cubs got together and they're the team that came out. And I don't feel like we lost. I feel like they beat us. But like I said, I think lesser teams lose that game. So I tip my hat to the Cubs.
100%. One last thing, Terry. Baseball won. I know you can't look at it that way. You'd like to have won another champion. They haven't won it since '48. I get it. But baseball won that night. I know a lot of managers and coaches always tell me losses stick with you forever. I hope that's not been the case for you because the Cubs are better than the Indians. They gave them everything you can handle, and they were due to break that snide. Have you come to that conclusion 5 years after the fact?
That's kind of the cool thing about emotions, Chris. You never quite know how you're going to feel. And when it was over, yeah, I was disappointed. I mean, my goodness sakes. But pride won out over being disappointed. I thought our guys had just given more than they were capable of. And I was so proud of that group. And I enjoyed the journey so much. Yeah, I wish we'd have won. Heck, are you kidding me? But I actually lose more sleep over the next year when the Yankees came back and beat us when we were up 2-0 because I didn't like the way we played the last 3 games. I have a tougher time with that than with the Cubs World Series.
I haven't heard you say that before either. Another good one. Terry, stay healthy, get healthy, and we'll see you in spring training. Thanks very much for so much time. Happy holidays. Appreciate you coming on today.
Chris, happy holidays. I'll see you soon.